Hello everyone, welcome to Risk Factors by Hyponym Research. My name is Toa, and today we're going to be talking about the risk factors listed in Coinbase's S-1 application. I think it's great because Coinbase has been listed for a couple of months now, and we've gotten to then see the rise and fall of crypto hype. I'm looking at the application right now, and I'm looking at the summary of risk factors. One important factor that pops out is that Coinbase said a majority of our net revenue is derived from transactions in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everyone has heard of Bitcoin. Lots of people have heard of Ethereum. When you think about Bitcoin and Ethereum, I always recommend that people think of Ethereum as Facebook and Bitcoin as some rudimentary token. Even though Bitcoin isn't a token, it's become irrelevant to the bigger picture in fintech and crypto. Ethereum is always one step ahead of Bitcoin because Ethereum offers what Facebook offers. Different applications can come on board and be part of the brand value of Ethereum, of Facebook, to then grow. And that's what Ethereum ultimately offers, is that it's so well known, it has a founder that everyone gets excited about, and then it does have a value add for society, allowing people to then move across borders and provide different applications, whether they're a government or a company. When you think about Bitcoin, it definitely has the potential to rival gold, but there are so many inherent issues related to its use cases. There are so many scammers, there are so many criminals, and there are also very few holders. And then you have miners who are benefiting from the rewards of mining Bitcoin. And it just becomes this big marketing hype game. I think if you want to participate in the fantasy of Bitcoin, which is to allow anyone to transact in digital currencies and be borderless, then you should definitely check out Stellar and Ripple, and then maybe possibly Cardano. But Cardano is more in the realm of Ethereum. So if you're thinking about Bitcoin's fantasy world, where everyone can send money borderless, then definitely check out Ripple and Stellar. Those are much more in the fantasy realm of Bitcoin. And even though Bitcoin is listed as something that is worth about $31,000, I always tell people that it's probably worth about $3,000. The reason I suspect that it's only worth $3,000 is because the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Group started listing micro Bitcoin futures this year, and those are 1/10 of Bitcoin's value. And when I think about Bitcoin and what it offers people, it if it's going to be the digital gold, then it should be in the same price range as gold. If it's any more, then there's clearly someone, and there's clearly not someone, there's a group that is then pushing the prices up. And that's why I usually recommend and tell people if you want to get some Bitcoin, then you shouldn't pay more than $3,000 for one of it, and you should buy it from someone else. And that's why there's a flourishing over the counter market for Bitcoin. Then, when you're thinking about other risk factors that are listed in Coinbase's application, they talk about the future development and growth of crypto is subject to a variety of factors that are difficult to predict and evaluate. So, unlike Facebook, which is able to then pretty much own a part of the internet, social interactions, how people communicate, crypto is so new, and we're in this whole other realm where if something catches on, that might stick around until governments ban it or people lose interest. And with crypto, you have both of those elements. A government might ban it, and people might lose interest. And that's what makes it really hard for me to invest in a company like Coinbase, because they definitely have the infrastructure to then help institutions invest in crypto. They can help set up staking, but then it's clearly not that great of a company because they're offering the bare minimum. They aren't offering as much growth as people would want to believe, because if you're dealing in something that relies so much on hype and acceptance by government, then you don't want to necessarily buy it on something like Coinbase, which is reporting to governments and tracking hype. If you're someone who's very interested in crypto, you want to then extract yourself from the hype and extract yourself from government censorship. So then you'd want to then dive into other exchanges like Kraken, or even maybe not even buy it in America. You'd probably want to buy it somewhere else where they're very accepting of crypto, because it allows those companies to then benefit from being a part of that, being part of this new industry that's popping up. Another risk factor that pops up in Coinbase's SEC application is cyber attacks and security breaches. This is huge because, as we all know, these kinds of crypto transactions are irrevocable. If you send it to an address, you can't call up your bank or your credit card company and say, "Hey, I sent to the wrong person, and I need some help in figuring out how to then send it to the right person." That doesn't happen. If someone hacks into this platform, Coinbase's platform, and sends it to an address, it's very hard for them to get it back, especially when you have these hackers then jumping into platforms and then sending the money to random places and then throwing it onto an exchange that's unregulated and turning it into cash. Another matter that pops up in Coinbase's SEC risk factors is material litigation. So we don't know how many different investigations Coinbase could be involved in or helping the IRS with. And since that is unknowable, how do you know this company is actually going to do well in the future? Because that's costly. And then another thing that pops up is loss or destruction of private keys required to access crypto asset held in custody for our own account or for our customers may be irreversible. So that's something I just discussed right now with cybersecurity. So the great thing about reviewing risk factors in SEC applications is that they allow you the chance to really think about an investment and think about the different issues that might pop up. And I spend the time to review these risk factors so that I can better understand the future and maybe if there's a different way to approach an investment. So when you're thinking about crypto, Coinbase definitely has Netscape vibes, where it's that one thing you can invest in that then is part of this new field, but it definitely might not stick around. So when thinking about crypto, you want to then engage in over-the-counter purchases of it, and you want to get it at a lower price than what is listed. And if you can do that, then all the power to you. If you cannot, then you might be buying something that's going to drop severely because it is an international asset. So if one country bans it, the price will most likely go down. But if you buy it for cheap, then you can definitely ride out the volatility. So if you were able to obtain 10 bitcoins and you bought them each for $3,000, then you're definitely prepared for volatility, because then you bought 10 bitcoins for the price of one that's listed on the market. And that's great because you can then wait out the volatility for longer instead of throwing so much money into one investment, and you also have more of it. So that's it for today. This was the first episode of Risk Factors. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will definitely be improving it and adding more insights in future podcasts. Thanks so much.